Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whether you are in soggy Atlanta or sunny South Africa. We want to say thanks for taking some time to join us today. You could be doing some other things, but you've decided you're going to spend some time with us, and I want to thank you for that. My name is Susan Moore. I'm the Community Engagement Manager at IIBA, and I am joined today by Aniket Joshi. We're going to be talking about preparing for the CBDA certification, and clearly you guys all have an interest in that. So thanks so much. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping, and then I'll introduce Aniket, and then I'm going to turn it over to him. Okay, so today we are recording this session, and you will get a link to the recording and the slide deck in 24 hours from now. Also, check your inbox next week because we will send something that we call a webinar extra. That'll just have some additional materials in it, plus links for the recording and the slide deck today. You guys are already using chat, and we love that. You can continue to let us know where you're dialing in from. Where are you on your CBDA certification journey? By the way, I keep saying CBDA like we know what it is, but it is the Business Data Analytics certification. We'll be talking more about that. So keep putting that in chat. If you have questions, we want to make sure that we are leaving plenty of time for your questions about how to prepare. You can put that into the Q&A box, and we have reactions turned on. So use those because Aniket can see those, and that helps him know how you're feeling about what he's saying. All right. A very quick introduction. So Aniket is a product owner at a Fortune 500 company, and he's also a trainer with Tech Canvas, who's a training, one of IIBA's endorsed training providers. He does this CBDA preparation training for lots of folks who are interested in getting this certification. As I mentioned during our little informal part, he holds the CBDA certification as well as CPOA and the Agile Analysis. CPOA is the Product Ownership Analysis certification. And I am going to turn it over to Aniket now. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Susan, for the lovely introduction. Yes, loved it. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone from wherever you are joining from. And welcome to today's webinar on CBDA certification preparation. I'm actually absolutely thrilled to see so many of you ambitious professionals here today, right? And I've seen a lot of you have joined from various different regions. So whether you're watching this from your home office, or if it's a coffee shop in the evening, or maybe sneaking in some learning during your lunch break here, right? I know you're all here for the same reason, to take your business data analytics career to the next level. So let me quickly introduce myself, and we should be good. So as Suzanne already mentioned, right, I've been helping professionals like you navigate the world of business analysis and even data analytics, or their certification, preparation, or for their career growth. It has been quite some time now that I've been associated with Tech Canvas. And I've personally guided a lot of candidates through the CBDA preparation process. And I'm here to share the same insights, same strategies, and the same practical tips to help you succeed the CBDA exam in your very first attempt. And before we dive in, right, I just want to do a quick poll. I know Susan already mentioned it, but I just want to know, like, if you are already working in maybe business analysis field, or if you are working in a data analytics role. We do have someone from maybe AI who said that they've done their master degree in AI. So you can just maybe wave your hand or paste in your favorite reaction. That way I know the kind of audience we have today. So don't be shy. Let's see that enthusiasm. Great. Amazing. Ah, love the enthusiasm, guys. Perfect. This gives me a great sense of our audience, like who I'm interacting with. And I just want to say that no matter where you are starting from, whether business analysis, data analysis, or even if you are new in this field, today's session, it is going to provide you with a clear roadmap to the CBDA success. With that being said, let's quickly dive into our agenda for today. And yes. So what we will be covering here today is the CBDA certification overview, what CBDA is, why it matters, and who it's for. We are also going to look at the exam structure. We will take a look at the exam format, what type of questions are asked, and how do you prepare for it. Then we will be also looking at the knowledge areas. I'll be breaking down the knowledge areas according to the exam topics, how much weightage those knowledge areas have, how many questions that will come from each of the knowledge area, and that way you get to prepare or understand how many questions are actually broken down into the knowledge areas. Then I will be taking you over the 12-week success framework. This is one of the step-by-step study plan that I've prepared for my candidates. And believe me, if you follow this 12-week success framework, you are definitely going to nail the exam in your very first attempt. Then once that is done, I'll be also helping you through the essential study resources. These are the I'll say must-have study materials that will actually help you to prepare for the examination, and it will help you crack the certification in the very first attempt. Then I'll also have a kind of a slide prepare where I've seen most of the candidates where they, I mean, lack maybe a common pitfalls which I can help you to avoid so that you can watch out for those and you overcome those same mistakes that I've seen the candidates, I mean, overcoming those over the period of time. And lastly, we are going to have the Q&A session. It will be your opportunity to ask me questions, get clarifications on any points. And I assure you, by the end of this session, you will feel confident and you will be ready to tackle your CBDA exam heads on. And with that being said, let's dive into the CBDA certification overview. So let's start with the fundamentals here. Okay. So the certificate in business data analytics, or as Suzanne always mentioned it, CBDA, it's the IIBA certification that is designed specifically for professionals who want to bridge the gap between the business needs and the data insights. So the IIBA CBDA, it highlights your proficiency in executing analysis or data analytics initiatives at the same time delivering business value. And here's what the CBDA makes it quite special. And this is also important for you to write it, to understand it right from the start. It's incredibly relevant to today's job market. So in the earlier session, right, I did mention that how job market is blooming with the AI and how for an AI, we need a good data at first hand. Every organization, whether it is a startup or even a Fortune 500 company, it is desperately seeking these professionals who can translate the business questions into data analysis and then communicate these insights back to stakeholders in a meaningful way that will help them drive a decision or maybe for any of their use cases. So that is what CBDA is. Speaking about the eligibility, so while there is no work experience that is strictly required to attempt the certification, the IIBA's handbook, it does mention that this certification is recommended for professionals with a minimum of 2 years of experience that maybe you've heard implementing, whether it's analysis related to the business or maybe even respect to the data analytics. And as I said earlier, right, since there is no such a strict eligibility for CBD exam, it's basically open to everyone. It's open to anyone. So the exam can be taken by business analysts. It could be taken by data analysts. In case if you are a project managers who want to understand how the data works, if you are a consultant, developer, tester, I mean, in fact, anyone else who is interested in getting into data, in learning new skills and expanding their maybe competencies in the analytics field, this is the certification for you. And You might be wondering here, like there are these many certifications, and how this CBDA certification is actually different from other analytic certification. If you already have that question, it's a great question. So I just want to clarify that upfront. So on one hand, we have these technical certifications that focus on tools, that focus on programming, Python, R. And on the other hand, we have the traditional business analysis certification that focus on maybe requirements, elicitation. So CBDA, it sits right in the sweet spot. It basically, it's the one that sits in the middle, and it helps you validate the ability to understand what are the business problems that you will be able to understand through a data lens. Then it teaches you how to apply the analytical thinking to real world scenarios. It will also help you to communicate your findings from the data, and it will help you how to communicate those technical findings in a way that is understood by everyone, not just the technical stakeholders, but also to the non-technical stakeholders as well. And it will also help you to understand how you can make that data informed decision. So how do you have the data previously? How do you validate it? And then how you can use it, making the basically decision that this is going to happen in next couple of months, or this will probably happen. So that predictive analytics. Okay. Speaking of the career impact, the certification in business data analytics, it offers numerous advantages, and particularly in if you want to increase your job confidence, if you want to increase your earning potential, or even if you want to advance your career, right? This is how it is going to help. I've listed down few of them, like high salary potential, and I just had this data from 2024 Global State of Business Analysis report. It does mention that CBDA certified professionals, they earn higher salaries than their non-certified counterparts. You can also find this information that is mentioned on the IIBA's webpage for CBDA. And employers, the second advantage is that the employers value the certification as a proof of your advanced knowledge and skills in business data analytics. If you are thinking of maybe career advancements or maybe growth, then this certification can actually help you with your career progression, making you eligible for promotions, higher level roles, since now you understand data from a different perspective. And I've seen that certified professionals, they are often considered for new roles. And of course, when it comes to new roles, it comes with an increased salary raise as well. In case if you are looking for maybe global recognition, if you are looking for jobs in different regions, then CBDA certification, it is recognized globally. It helps you improve your job prospects in various different regions, in various different multiple industries that you want to try. And this versatility, right? It can open even roles for different job in terms of diversification, and again with a competitive salaries. So these are all the different advantages that I've tried to put in case if you want to opt for a CBDA. And it just proves that the candidate has the knowledge and the skills for the job. So with that being said, right, this certification ensures that you have the necessary skills, you have the necessary knowledge to excel, making you one of the top choice for the employers. And I would also like to share maybe one particular scenario with me as well. And believe me, when I say this, right, I've seen career transformations happening right before my eyes. An example would be there was a traditional business analyst who was working with one of the company for 8 years, and after 8 years, she was basically feeling stuck. And I did recommend that with AI, with data, that she should be taking up maybe a CBDA certification. She was able to do it. She was able to pass it. And within 6 months after earning her CBDA, right, she landed a senior data analytics consultant job with a 40% salary bump. I mean, imagine that. So that's how important it is. And what key message I'm trying to give it here is, so CBDA, it's not just another certification that you can only add to your resume. It's a strategic career move that positions you at the intersection of business and technology, exactly where the organizations need you the most right now, not just only on technical, not just only on business, but right at the sweet spot between the business technology to understand it. So that's how the important CBDA certification is. And let me move on to the next slide where I'll guide you through the quick exam, quick facts. So now that you know the relevancy of CBDA certification, right? Let's take a quick look at what you will be signing up for. And by understanding exactly what questions you will be facing, it will help you prepare more effectively. Let's first discuss about the format and the duration. So the CPD exam consists of 75 multiple choice questions. These will be scenario based questions. These will be concept questions and few will be defined questions as well. And you will have 2 hours, which is 120 minutes to complete the exam. And if I have to just drill it down to each and every question, right? So that gives you about 1.5 minute or 90 seconds per questions. It could be intimating, it could be intimating maybe for those who are very new to the business data analytics, but it is actually quite plenty of time if you are well prepared, if you are confident, and you have thoroughly prepared for the CBDA certification. The question types here, as I said, since this is 75 questions, multiple choice questions, right? You will encounter scenario based questions. These are personally my favorite type of questions, not so for other. They do struggle with scenario based questions, but scenario based questions, they actually help you test real world application. You will have to you will come across maybe a business scenario, then you need to determine which is the best analytical approach or best maybe option out of those. And if I have to give an example for scenario based question is basically you will get a question mentioning that this is the retail company, it is noticing decline in the sales in this particular certain regions, and what would be the most appropriate first step in analyzing the issue. So they will give you one particular scenario and they will ask you to help understand that scenario and come up with the right answer. Okay. And then there will be questions on techniques. Believe me, there will be a lot of questions on techniques. So make sure that while preparing for CBDA, you have those techniques. And these questions basically, they help you evaluate your knowledge of when and how to use those particular techniques in particular scenarios. For example, again, they'll say that there will be a question that would come up mentioning that there is this visualization technique and how effective will this be in showing correlation between two continuous variables. Basically, it will say that which visualization technique will you use when it comes to showing a correlation between two continuous variables. So these will be the type of questions that will come for techniques. Again, I said there will be a lot of questions on techniques, so make sure that you know each and every technique that is mentioned in the CBDA guide. Then the third type of questions, the most easiest ones, it's the definition and concept questions. So these are the type of the questions that will help you with the understanding of key terms and frameworks. These more or less come as a one-liner, and these are your chance to score uh, the in the exam. So you do not have to make sure you do have to make sure that you answer each and every one of them because they are directly tied to the CBDA guide. Okay, then so the example for that I can quickly give is maybe it will just say a one-liner question that what is the primary purpose of exploratory data analysis? Or they'll again give you one particular example and ask you which sampling technique is this actually. So these are again one-liner questions, and these are the way where you can score the most. Speaking about the exam logistics, so let's I'll try to cover the practical aspects here. You can take the exam remotely through online proctoring. Please note that for CBDA, you are not allowed to go to the center. So the only way you can appear for the exam is through the online proctoring. And actually, the online proctoring offers a great flexibility. Here, you need to have a very quiet, private space. Then I personally recommend that you have a very good and a stable internet connection. That is the most important thing. No more hotspots. Make sure that you have a good and stable internet connection. You have a very clean desk area because it's something that is also being monitored. You need to show it. You have a valid ID present as well. So, and if I have to then mention about the exam policies, just please remember that no breaks are allowed during the exam. So you freshen up, you have everything ready before you start the examination. This is not an open book exam, so no reference material is allowed. No calculators in physical. I do remember that you can use an on-screen calculator if needed, but no physical calculators. No food, no drinks except for water, and that too, it should be in a clear, transparent container. And a tip from my experience, I'll say that you want to start your exam feeling very calm, composed, collected. So keep all these things ready one day before the exam. So you do not want to be rushed in, you do not want to be stressed right before the exam. And as I'm saying this, one more thing I just want to say, and this is actually very fantastic, that as soon as you submit the exam, you will receive your preliminary results immediately after completing the exam. If you pass the exam, I'm sure you will after this webinar, you will see that wonderful congratulations message right on the screen. Your official certificate will come later, but that immediate feedback which you get is right. It is incredibly satisfying. In case if you have already certified and if you are want to recertify, then to maintain this credential, you do not have to attempt the exam again. You need not have to go through it again. It's just that you have to demonstrate a continuous learning each year by getting 20 CDUs. So the CDU is nothing but continuous development units. You have to show in learning by maybe going through the trainings or even in terms of application if you have experience. So in general, one CDU is earned for each hour. So that's how it is planned. So that's how it is for the certification. And these are just the exam facts that I wanted to bring it up to you. Let's move on to the knowledge areas. And this is where I want to maybe take you through a deep dive so that maybe you pull up your slocks, pull up your sleeves, and I would helping you information with this six core knowledge areas to help you understand what is the weightage in terms of examination, what should be the focus area, and how you should prepare for it. So the first knowledge area, it is about identifying the research questions. In this domain, you start basically with the foundations, and it makes up 20% of your exam questions. So that means there will be 15 questions out of the 75 questions that will be taken from this knowledge area. And this area, it is all about understanding the business context, like how do you identify and define business problems? How can that be solved with the data? How do you formulate very clear and answerable research questions? Then you will be also learning how to perform the stakeholder analysis and the requirement elicitation. A quick example, if I have to mention, is like, let's say you are working with a marketing team, and maybe that marketing team just throws a vague statement mentioning that our campaigns are not working at all. So, what you are expected to do is you need to translate this vague statement into a very specific research-based question, like which customer segments have the lowest engagement rates, or maybe what is the correlation between the campaigns spending and the conversion rates that we've seen across the different channels. So this is how you will be expected to frame a research question. Going to the knowledge area two, it is about sourcing the data, and it is at 15%, which means there will be roughly 11 questions out of the 75 questions you will be asked from this knowledge area. And this area, it actually focuses on how you obtain the right data for your analysis. Here you will learn about data sourcing fundamentals, like what are the different strategies for data identification, data acquisition, how do you perform a data quality assessment, and of course, relevance to the data privacy and compliance, whether it is GDPR, CCPA, and those. There will be also, you will be also learning about the internal versus external data sources. And I just want to pause here to mention that there will be a definite question that will come in exam from this area that is related to the data sampling techniques and the data collection methods. Definitely there will be a question, so please make sure you know about all the sampling techniques and the data collection methods as well. Then finally, you will also learn about how to handling the missing data or the incomplete data. And yes, so this is what it will be, or what you will be able to learn as part of the knowledge area 2 for source data. Moving on to the knowledge area 3, analyze data. Here there will be 16% weightage. So that means 12 questions out of the 75 questions that will be taken from this knowledge area. And this is actually where you will be leveraging your technical analytic skills. Those are the skills that you will have to reflect in this particular knowledge domain. So you have to get yourself well versed with the analytical methods such as descriptive statistics, then maybe what is mean, median, mode, standard deviation, exploratory data analytics, what it is, what are the correlation analysis, the trend identification using the time series. And also there are a few advanced techniques that you should understand, like regression analysis, time series analysis, clustering, segmentation, and these advanced techniques. So I again I want to maybe just take a pause, and I have to clarify here one point is all these advanced techniques, right? Please don't panic if you are not a statistic expert, if you are not into maybe mathematical calculations. I've seen that as soon as we say statistics or this, or when I just go through all those advanced technique, right? Most of the candidates they start panicking. They directly set themselves on the back foot by considering that they are not a statistic expert. Please do not think that way. The exam, it focuses on application and your understanding, like when you should be applying these techniques. It does not focus on implementing or solving complex mathematical calculations or questions. So there won't be any questions where you will be asked to solve any mathematical calculations or perform any statistics. So I just want to mention that the exam or this CBDA, it just helps you understand like how are you going to apply it, or whether you are able to understand that particular technique or not. Okay, so please note, even if you are not a statistic expert, if you are not even advanced analytical expert, it's still fine. You just have to understand it and know how to apply it. Okay, all right. Now moving on to the knowledge area 4, where you will be basically asked to interpret and report the results, and it makes about 20% of the exam questions. Again, that is like 15 questions will be asked out of the 75 questions from this area. And this is actually very interesting knowledge area where you learn about how to transform the data into insights. Here you will come across interpretation skills and your reporting skills, like data visualization principles, which chart to use, what kind of maybe charts are there. It helps you with the storytelling, how you can do storytelling basically with the data, what your report structure should be, or how your dashboard should be, and how to perform maybe those executive summaries and dashboard. And maybe just a golden rule we all are aware of, right? Your visualization, it should tell a story so clear that someone could maybe just understand it with just a key message in 5 seconds or less. Okay, so use this particular results to interpret it, and that's what will be covered as part of this knowledge area. Then moving on to the next knowledge area, again, this is also very good, very critical in terms of exam, because there will be 15 questions that will be coming up from this particular knowledge. It has 20% of the weightage. And here you will focus on the business applications, like translating the analytical findings into business recommendation. You will have to do the cost benefit analysis, the risk assessment, mitigation, communication strategies, presenting it to the different stakeholders, and so on. So this area actually separates good data analysts from great ones, because it's not just about finding the insights, finding the patterns, but it's also about driving action based on those insights. So in case if you are able to identify a pattern, if you are able to identify it using maybe a descriptive analytics, you should still be able to drive an action, create an action out of it based on those insights. So this is what it will be covered. Finally, the last one, it is about guiding organizational level strategy for business analytics. It has the least weightage, close to 9%. So there will be roughly 7 questions that will be asked from this particular mm, domain, the last one. And since while this has the smallest percentage, it's also incredibly important for those who want to make a progress in their career, because it has strategic elements in it. It will be having basically maturity models, it will be information about building the analytical capabilities, data literacy programs, leadership aspects like how to create a data driven culture, how to form the analytics team structure, and what are the roles, and including the technology infrastructure, if I'm not wrong, and the ethics in business analytics. And as I said, even though this section is only about 9% of the exam, right? Mastering these concepts can truly set you apart as a strategic business analytics professional. This is about the key knowledge areas. And again, as I've mentioned about all the weightages, the type of questions, please note that you should not be skipping any of the knowledge area. You have to pass in each and every knowledge area to pass the certification exam. So please do not maybe skip any of the knowledge area. Even if you are not able to maybe pass one knowledge area, it means that you won't be able to clear the CBDA. So give equal amount of importance to each and every area, and make sure that you score in those particular areas. Okay, now let's move on to the best part about the 12-week study plan, where I want you to focus on this particular, follow it rigorously so that for sure you will be able to crack it in your very first attempt. So, yep, let's talk about the preparation strategy. And oh, sorry. And I've developed this, right? What I call the 12-week success framework, where it's basically a step-by-step plan that has helped many candidates successfully pass the CBD exam if you follow it, and it will help you too. That's what I'm trying to say. And in this framework, I've designed it specifically to build a strong foundation at the very start, deepen your understanding, and then fine-tune your exam readiness through a consistent and a focused practice. And if you follow this, as I said again, I'm confident you will nail the exam in the very first attempt. So let's see. First, first 3 weeks, okay? In the first 3 weeks, what I want you to do is your goal, it should be to create a solid base and foundation. You should get well versed with CBDA guide. Start by reading the CBDA guide cover to cover. I recommend that you go through the guide at least 3 times, so this way you get familiar with the analytics keyword if you are new. There would be keywords that you wouldn't have heard of. There would be some concepts you wouldn't have understood earlier. So by going through the CBDA end to end, you will get familiar with those keywords. Then, in case what really helps is consider joining the study groups or maybe any online communities during these weeks in the first 2 3 weeks only. And the reason I say this is because here you can explain the concepts, what you've understood out loud to others. And this is what I say. If you can't explain it in a very simpler way, it means you have not understood it well enough. And trust me when I say this, explaining a concept to someone else is the best way to know if you understand it or not. teaching others, it actually reinforces your own learning, and you will also get to know about the different perspectives from others. It will help you illuminate the concepts, and you might miss on all this information if you are studying alone. So go find a group, join a group. You can join the IIBA chapter study groups, and IIBA member can participate maybe just by searching study group within the chapter events, and that's how you can join the study groups. Then, after joining the group, what I want to say is, after reading each and every chapter, make sure you practice the chapter wise questions to identify any gaps in the knowledge. Okay, so you know what are your maybe knowledge gaps after answering those chapter quiz you get. So this is what I want you to do in the first 3 weeks. Okay, then in the week 4 to 8, here what I'm expecting from you is take maybe a deep dive into the learning. So once you have laid that groundwork, it's time to maybe focus on few more. So from weeks 4 to 8, you should concentrate on your weakest areas. After reading the guide and practicing maybe the chapter wise quiz, you would have understood which are the knowledge areas that you lack, which are the knowledge areas that you want to concentrate more. Revisit those areas in this week itself. Use this time to create maybe a mind map for those complex concept. And what I say is, take a pen, take a pencil, scribble it, because scribbling using a pen or a pencil, it makes it much easier to remember and understand. You know what you are noting down, you remember the mind maps, it instantly tweaks your mind. And just don't worry about how it would look on paper. I'm not good at drawing. It's all okay. Just start, take a pen and pencil, whatever complex questions or whatever the complex concepts you think, just try to create easiest mind map as possible. Once you've done that, then what I want you to do is, after the CBDA guide, I want you to go through the essential reading resources. These are mentioned on the IIBA CBDA webpage, because there will be questions that will come from this essential reading as well. Of course, there are few books as well that are mentioned, but you need not go through all those books. But the links, those links are very important. There will be questions from the essential reading material. And then here, just make a habit of maybe practicing the scenario based questions, because the more practice you get, the more natural your mind process becomes. If you want, if you are working, try to apply these concepts in your current work projects, because seeing real world application, it not only reinforces your learning, but it also shows you how the material directly relates to your professional role. So this is what I'm expecting you to do from week 4 until the week 8, about deep dive learning. So first week and the second week, it should be all about learning, making sure you understand each and every concept. Okay. From weeks 9 to 11, so the next phase, here you will be covering all about, I want you to intensify your practice. So dedicate these weeks to take those practice exams on regular basis. So after, there are, there are a lot of mock questions out there. There are a lot of practice questions from IIB endorsed training partners as well. So make sure that you start giving those exams, mock exams. And after each exam, right, take a moment, take a time to thoroughly review every answer you have got wrong. Not just about the right answer, but each and every answer that you have got wrong. Because this is where you will learn the most. When you get a maybe a practice question wrong, don't just look at the correct answer. Understand why each wrong option is incorrect, because this will help you eliminate the options in your actual exam, and it will start creating pattern about how to eliminate the wrong options. Okay. Again, in this week, I would request that maybe you revise the CBDA guide once before the final week. Okay. So before the final week, when you have an exam maybe scheduled in the next week, make sure you revise the CBDA guide once. Here you can basically target creating flashcards for any key terms and concepts, because this is an active review technique and it will help you reinforce your memory and understanding. The flashcards are very good if you want to answer the concept-based questions and the one-liner questions which I explained to you in the exam format. So the flashcards are basically the most, it will help you answer those maybe the one-liner questions. Okay, so this is what you are going to do in the weeks ranging from 9 to 11. Now it comes the final week, your final preparation. So finally, in week 12, what I want you to do is focus on consolidating all that you've learned. This, please make sure it is going to be a light review phase. You are not going to learn anything new. You have already learned everything in your first 2 weeks. You have practiced in your third week. This is where you will be doing just a light review. I want you to take one final practice exam to gauge your readiness and then allow yourself to rest and mentally recharge. Do not stress yourself out here, please. Most important is that I want you to verify all your exam logistics. I've come across quite a few candidates that have skipped or that they missed their exam dates because they were so focused on learning that they totally forgot that maybe their exam was scheduled on Tuesday, and that's how it is. So please verify your exam logistics, double check the dates when you have scheduled your exam, double check the timing of your exam as well, and just make sure that you have or you bring along everything that you need, the logistics or maybe the exam policies, the exam logistics that I explained in my previous slide. Make sure that everything is in order, okay? And the reason I'm saying that is because it's very important that on your exam day you are confident, you are well prepared, you want to start your exam feeling very calm, composed, and collected. So keep all these things ready. You do not want to be rushing here and there, running that I missed out on this, there is no pencil. I just do not want you to be stressed right before the exam because that is not a good way to start the exam. When you are stressed, no matter how good you've prepared, you tend to maybe lose a focus. So please make sure that you have all those ready and you are not stressed before the exam. Okay, so that's what I'm just pledging that you should be doing in the final week. Okay, that's the 12-week framework. And just note that by following this 12-week success framework and by committing to it daily, all those focused study sessions, you are not just preparing for an exam because this will become as a habit, because since you've been doing this from last 12 weeks, you are building analytical skills over a period and not overnight. So this is how it will also propel your entire career forward. You know the concepts not just for the sake of passing the certification, but also when it comes to applying to your daily work. Okay. Yep. And yes, one more thing. I just want, again, please do remember it's essential to adjust this plan based on your personal background. Maybe you should allocate more time where you feel less confident. If you're already strong, maybe let's say in visualization, but you need more work in analyzing data, the knowledge area 3, please allocate extra time to bolster that area. Just stay consistent. Note that every single step you are taking here, it's a progress. Okay, so adjust this as per your maybe need, but in general this is what the 12-week success framework will help you. And with that being said, right, I just have to say this is just a quote I've combined from Confucius and Mark Twain. It just says that it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. The secret of getting ahead is actually getting started. So I hope this certification and of course this webinar will help you get started. Okay. All right. Okay, now let us turn our attention to the study resources. These are the study resources that will truly support your uh, preparation. Okay, so what resources you will need for studying? So these are the primary resources. First and foremost, it is your IIBA study guide. It is your ideal guide for the journey. It covers all the concepts. It provides you the framework you need to understand the exam consent content inside out. Okay, next, be sure that you also explore the two guides, the Introduction to Business Data Analytics Practitioner Review and the organizational view. Okay, there will be again questions, one or two questions that will come from this one. And it is again available on the IIBA CBD guide. Then the crucial asset, again, the most important, which I've already covered, is about the IIBA essential reading resources. It includes a curated of collection of materials. And again, you will find this on the IIBA webpage under business analysis certification. I guess it is essential reading resources itself. That's where you will find it. Okay. And please do read this. Again, I'm saying essential reading resources because there will be questions from this section. Sorry, there will be questions on sampling techniques for sure that are mentioned in the essential reading resources. There will be also questions where in the essential reading resources, they have the section where they've mentioned which graph you should use and when. So it's very important. There are some books, as I mentioned, but those are optional. But even if you go through all this information, you should be able to nail it. And then the IIBA practice exams. There are some sample questions that will help you familiarize yourself with the exam format, and this will help you basically identify the areas where you need to study. You will find a lot of mock questions online. You will find a lot of them with the IIBA endorsed partners as well. And of course, there are the official IIBA training courses as well. So, in case if you do not feel confident, if you are new, please do consider enrolling yourself in the IIBA training courses in case there are some concepts which you're feeling just overwhelmed. So, these courses, they are endorsed by IIBA and it will help you maybe get well versed. So there are instruction-led, self-paced classroom that will help you. Okay. So each of these resources, please do not ignore them. These are proven effective for candidates to pass the certification. Keep these resources close as you navigate through the 12-week preparation plan I've explained, and you'll be definitely on your way to success. Okay, now that we've seen the essential resources, again, yes, a very important thing, common pitfalls that you should be avoiding. Over a period of time, I've understood that most candidates, they make the same mistakes, and I just want to bring out those to you so that you can avoid them. Okay, so the first and foremost mistake is memorizing without understanding. No mugging, please. Do not mug up the concepts. If you are new to analytics, it is very easy to mug up, to get caught up in that rot memorization. Maybe please don't do that. Just do not learn formulas, techniques, or concepts by heart. I just want you to maybe instead of just memorizing, take the time to understand when and why you want to use each technique. What I call is an application method. Just don't memorize, apply. Look for opportunities in your maybe current role to practice those CBDA concepts. Because this hands-on approach, it will help you again reinforce your learning far more effectively than memorization alone. So please do not memorize, do not mug, understand it. Then the second mistake is, yes, the most important, neglecting the business context. Do remember, you are not just a data analyst, but you are a business data analyst. This means understanding the business context behind the question is crucial. The exam tests the concept of business analysis that are mentioned in the BOK. Since it is an IIBA certification, it tests the concepts of business analysis as well. So hence a basic understanding of BABOK tools. It is also helpful, though it is not compulsory. So without understanding the business context, you could probably get your answer wrong. So when you get when you get basically a question, always try to connect that particular question to the business analysis that is defined by IIPA. So by connecting it, it is the way they want you to solve it. So understanding the business context, it is very important. So many of the candidates that I've seen, they try to answer it by their own personal experience. Please do not do it. Whatever maybe your techniques you are following in your daily work, it could be wrong. So that could make your answer go wrong as well. So always try the business context to the business analysis that has been mentioned in the IPA. Finally, cramming at the last minute. Yep, if you follow the 12-week, you wouldn't be able to do it. But if you are someone who is maybe trying to absorb a massive amount of information in one go, that is something that is not going to help you. So commit to a steady, consistent study schedule over the past 12 weeks. This approach will allow you to truly cement your understanding of the concept. It reduces your exam day anxiety. It helps you ensure you are prepared to tackle basically the exams scenario based question and also the theoretical questions with confidence. Remember, you are again not just studying for an exam, you are building expertise that will help you serve throughout your career in your maybe daily work. Okay. Every hour you invest, it's a preparation which you are doing in your professional future. Okay. So by avoiding these pitfalls, right, you need to make sure that you focus on the depth understanding, business context, and pacing your study. This will definitely help you nail your certification exam. These are the basically the pitfalls that I wanted you to understand. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we've covered a lot of ground today, and I know you probably would have a lot of questions. And this is your time to ask me anything about maybe CBDA preparation, maybe the exam or your strategy. And maybe just while you are thinking of the questions, right? I just want to maybe address these few frequently asked questions because I do get them. I just want to answer them before you raise questions. That the first one that I frequently get answered is how much statistics background do I need? So as I said, the exam does not ask you to implement or solve any complex questions. It helps you, it basically asks like how are you able to understand those basic concepts, and it focuses on your application, not complex calculations. So even if you are not a statistic expert, it is still fine. Then the other question which I again ask is about I'm not from technical background. Will this help me? So definitely it's not something that is more of a technical. As I said, you are a business data analyst, so it's not just about all technical. So even if you do not have experience, you should be good to have it started. Okay. So those were just maybe the frequent questions which I wanted to address. But Susan, maybe we can open the floor to uh,
Yes.
questions which we have.
You got it. And we do have lots of questions. So what I would say, there are some in chat, and I'm going to try to get to those. If you have questions, you can put them in the Q&A box. And if you see a question there and you have the same question, just give it an upvote, because that tells me what you're interested in having a question to. And I know we've got somebody who has raised their hand. So if you've raised your
Hmm.
hand and you have a question, drop that into the Q&A box as well. All right. So I think you've answered this question. No, actually, I'm just going to do this in the order that they came in. Here you go. Samara
Okay.
asked, can we pay for the exam and pick a date afterwards so we can make sure we've had enough time to study? Which I think is
Yes.
how it works. Yeah.
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 Yes,
So
that is
you have to,
possible.
yeah, you have to pay in advance. And what is the timeline between paying for the exam and taking the exam? I think it's,
Hmm.
is it a year for CBDA?
Yeah,
I
you
don't know.
you can yeah you can schedule your exam within 1 year, so that policy still applies across all the certifications. So even if you maybe pay for it, you can take the exam within an year of the payment that you've made. Yes.
Yes, and make sure that you refer to the certification handbook because it will
Yes.
give you all of the requirements and the rules that you need to follow. Okay, so we have answered that one. What's the best source for practice exams? Free? Are there free exams or are there costs involved?
Yes. So both of them, there are a few practice exams, practice questions that are available online as well. If you go across and maybe just search practice CBD exams, there are those available free. Quizlet is where you will find a lot of mock questions. But in case if you are looking for maybe the paid as well, of course, there are IIBA endorsed training or maybe the training providers who do have those mock questions part of it. So yes, both way.
Uh, does Tech Canvas have practice exams for
Yes,
CBDA? Okay.
yes. Tech
Um,
Canvas does have.
and I know there are a few other providers that does that also has some practice exams. And what I would say, as somebody who also has used practice exams for my certifications, if you get them for free, just remember you get what you pay for. And so sometimes you are going to get a better quality and a more reliable experience and responses
Right.
if you pay for it. So just keep that in
Yes.
mind if you
And
find free
maybe,
sources.
yes, Susan, just one more point addition to excellently what you've summed up. Yes. So when you pay for it, right, you will get an exam kind of environment where there will be a timer where you are supposed to answer those questions within 2 hours. So that's how it will help you practice as well. So yeah.
Yeah, good point. You get a lot of other features in the paid practice exams that you might not get with the free ones. So Kevin has our next question. Where can we find chapter-wise practice exams as well as other practice? So I think we've answered the question about where you can find them, but this specifically asks about chapters. To the best of my knowledge, chapters do not have practice exams. What they have are study groups. And so in the webinar extra, which you guys will get next week, I will include a link to the chapter event calendar. You can just look for study group. We have chapters all over the world, and some of them have CBDA specific study groups, and that's where you can take advantage of that. And thanks, Aniket, for bringing those up, because the benefit with a study group and how it is different from a prep course is that you are talking to other people who are either in the process of getting certified or who have that certification, just like Aniket, but you can talk in detail and really go into detail with your questions. So Kevin, hopefully we've answered that question. Um, Ruta asked, do you need to be familiar with the Babok guide to successfully study for this exam? I think you answered that in your slide, but I'll let you
Yes.
give more info.
Yes. So what I would recommend is maybe go through the Babok concepts, go through the Babok book once because the IIB exam, what it asks you is to maybe answer the questions as per the business analysis concepts that are mentioned in the Babok. So yes, please do not relate it to your own experience, relate it to the Babok experience.
Yes, and that would be the same answer for really any of the IIBA
Yes.
certifications. Yeah, so that's good advice. Excuse me, Elena asked, and this may be hard to do in just because we've just
Mm-hmm.
got 2 more minutes. What are the main differences between CCBA, CBAP, and CBDA apart from the specific data?
Okay, yes. So CCBA and CBAP, these are more for business analysis. As I said, the traditional business analyst, these are the ones certifications. So the CBDA, it is more or less on the data about how to source the data, how to analyze the data, how to apply those techniques, how to apply maybe the interpretation or how to interpret those results. So it is more or less regarding the data life cycle. So CCBA, ECBA, and CBAP, these are for traditional business analyst, but the CBDA, it is more related to the someone who is involved with the data in the data life
Yes.
cycle.
Yeah, and I would say if you think about our skills as T-shaped, meaning very deep in one area, and
Correct.
then so I would say CCBA and CBAP are testing you on a full suite of business analysis skills broadly. CBDA is specifically about data analytics.
Data. Correct.
All right. And in the last minute that we have, we've got some questions around
Mm-hmm.
CDUs. So this is for recertification purposes. Can CDUs, well, Can I use any kind of CDUs to recertify on my CBDA? Is question one.
Yes, so those should be relevant to your maybe data analytics maybe initiative. So in case if there are any trainings which you are at maybe basically attending that are related to the knowledge areas that are discussed in CPDA, whether it is sourcing data, analyzing data, or maybe interpreting. So yes, those are covered. Even if you are applying those in your work environment where maybe you can demonstrate that you've sourced this data using this particular techniques, that still counts. So as long as you are able to reflect it to back to the knowledge areas that we've just discussed, that counts.
Yeah. And the second part of that question was, so if I have multiple IIBA certifications, some that have 20 CDUs, some that have 60 CDUs, can I overlap? And I think that answer is yes. Um, but in order to do that, when you're putting them into your development log, they also need to apply to those knowledge areas for those other certifications. But yes, they can overlap. So it's not 60 for one and 20 for the other. You can get some overlap. And I know, Annika, you as a multiple certification holder, you probably are thankful.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I want to thank everybody. I know we had a couple of questions that we did not get to, um, but we will get you a webinar extra. So 24 hours from now, you'll get a link to the recording and the slide deck. So look for that coming from Zoom. That'll be in your inbox. Next week, something called a webinar extra. You will get the same links plus some of the resources that Annika has talked about today, including a few more, which I've got on this trusty Post-it note. Annika, really well done today. This was really helpful.
Yes, yes. All right. Yep. Thank you so much. I mean, Susan, and thank you to everyone. I just want to say that I'm rooting for your success, and I can't wait to hear about your certification achievements. Good luck to my all future CBDA professionals. Thank
There
you
you
so much.
go. All right. Thanks everybody for your time. Thank you again, Annika. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Suzanne. Bye.